Here's a short tutorial on introduction to the Stretch character. There's two images that you'll see of Stretch all in one piece, and then what I call an exploded view. I have these two down here, and you'll see in those images I have some numbers. And if we click on an image, you'll see down here dimensions is 1223 by 2539. So we got to make sure those proportions transfer over into the flat of which you're going to map these images on in 3ds Max. This exploded view is 2103 by 3283. So those are going to be important numbers. And let me just go into Photoshop so we can see these better. So here's that completed character. We're going to be going over him in design class, as well as we're going to be working with this character. We're going to build him first, and then we're going to be doing a lot of animation with him using the principles of animation, of which there is also a video in this lesson. So if we take a look here, where those numbers come from, if I go up to image and go to image size, it will show up that it defaults to pixels, and that's the numbers of which you're seeing. And I've written down these numbers and given them to you in the Canvas page. And this corresponds to the size of the image here, that the width is 1223 and the height is 2539. So this makes sense because it's much taller than it is wide, and those numbers reflect that. Okay, so we want to make sure when you're building the flat, you're getting the width and height the right way around, and that it's longer height-wise than width. The other number I gave you was off of here. You can see it defaults to pixels. And sometimes these numbers are quite big, and it depends on the size of the grid that you like to work with within 3ds Max. And sometimes with these larger numbers, the grid gets very small and very dense and can be distracting. So you might want to use a smaller number, and it doesn't really matter what the numbers are. It's just that you're getting the proportions right. So here, if the other numbers I gave you is points. So here's a smaller number. So it's 293.5, 609.4. And again, that's the proportion of this image. And we want to make sure you get that larger number as the height, smaller number as the width. And I think it's different in 3ds Max, and we'll confirm that, is that they have height, but instead of width, they call it length. So there's some discrepancy of how they describe which dimension refers to what, and just the naming of it. Okay, so it's the same when we come over to the exploded view, and we will be taking a closer look at that. And it's not, here we go. It's taking a while to react for me. So here we go. We have that exploded view. You can see the very simple two-dimensional graphic shapes that create that character. We'll explore that further. And when we start really building this character, these seamless joints at the elbows, at the knees, and even in this case, the ankles of the character have this seamless join to them. And we'll go over and explain all that, because we'll be building this character next week and finish him up the week after. So no panic. So the idea is to download these images, and again, if we go up here and check the image size, and we can see those numbers. Again, pixels, those are the numbers that when we, just on the desktop, when we put our cursor over top the image, it gave us these pixel numbers. But here we can see which is height, which is width, to help us sort of make sure we don't get it mixed up, because we want to make sure it maps onto the same proportion. And again, if the numbers are big, and when you bring that, when you create that flat in 3ds Max, there's a very dense grid, and you want to simplify that, you can try a smaller number. Go to the points and use that smaller number. So again, the larger number is the height, and then the smaller number is the width. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to, if you can get that done, I want to make sure you download this image and that you can load it in your material editor. And if you can create the flats and put these images in 3ds Max, and then we'll get going. We'll really start constructing next week. But you can be working even as soon as you get this and you go through the video and start working on this. Practice with your pen tool, or the line tool in this case, and learn some control. I'm going to have a video really showing how we can trace over and match exactly these shapes, and even complex shapes and such, and how we can edit them and make sure that we've got total control in creating our characters. Okay, so I'll leave it at that, and good luck everybody. I will see you in Zoom, so please have a look at these and we will discuss.